Yep.
Start this meeting with Fayette County Board of Directors. We'll start with the pledge of allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You all have a copy of the minutes preceding meetings. Is there any additions or corrections?
Mr. President, if no additions or corrections, I suggest, or I move that the minutes be accepted as presented.
Second.
Been moved and seconded that the minutes preceding meetings be accepted as presented. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We'll start with department head reports. Start with Jay Havlin, Highway Department. That's a nice tune.
Good morning. We've been pretty busy trying to just patch the potholes on the roads. We've been doing that, putting some cans in. We're about a third of the way through the cans. With the rain's been coming and going, it's making it hard to put them in. But I've got some areas, we're just now starting to get oil over in Union County where we get oil at, and we've had the patch machines out doing that. I'm gonna get them set up today and then go over and get some. They've got a new type of oil just made for the patch machines. Hopefully it'll work out better than it did last year, because we kept having problems with it last year. And they had problems over there. They had just as much problems as we did, and it just wasn't no cure for it. They couldn't figure out what was wrong with it. We've got our new tractor in. We've got it, I had it out on the road Monday, and they're out using it again today. We've got a few little things we need to get fixed on it, but it's nothing to keep it from using it, so we'll just keep it busy. And I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rotate the employees in and out of it, let everybody have a chance to run it. That way I won't just have one person in it all the time. We can keep track of the way they're using it that way.
Yeah, we gotta take care of that.
Yeah. I have a question on the Bill had an old truck sitting over that white Ford sitting behind the jail. It's got a good doghouse and a cab on it. Would there be any problem if we come up and got that and took the doghouse and the cab off that for another truck? It's beyond use. The ball joints are clear gone out of it. He says it's got a good motor and transmission in it. But we've got our one old bucket truck. It just beat all to pieces. Doors don't shut tight anymore.
The truck originally came from the animal shelter. That's the one I had, and then the ball joints and everything else.
So just part the rest of it out?
I'm sorry?
You're thinking about just parting the rest of it and
Yeah.
take the doghouse
It's
off?
not.
I don't have a problem.
We can haul it down there. We convert all that over as we get time through the summer months. When I got extra help, they can do it. If I have enough extra help to do it, that's the key thing. But that'll make that other truck last a little longer, because he says it's got a good motor and everything in it.
Just make sure to take it off of the.
Yeah. We'll get the serial number off it and
Debbie,
take
if
it
she does
off.
that, does she take it off the inventory?
We'll take,
Well, I mean,
well,
the chassis is
it'll be
what's
scrapped
on it.
out, is what it'll be, yeah.
yeah, then we'll have to have.
Once we get what we need off of it,
Yeah.
because we'll probably save the motor and transmission, and nothing else on there we could use after that.
Okay.
Or do we need to declare that surplus?
Well, if you end up with some other things that you're planning on putting in a sale sometime.
Well, then,
I don't
we
know.
don't have a problem with parting it out. I mean,
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
not something we can fix
We'll
or
get it, we'll
use.
figure out a way to get it down there. We have to go air tires up and tow it down.
Yeah, I think on the inventory, it would go with whatever the chassis.
All
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
okay,
fine.
that's all I have. If anybody has any questions.
No?
On the potholes, I mean, you're probably pretty busy. They're everywhere.
Now, I've had everybody out patching them. I've had to use a couple of the old single axles even to get out there and do it, but we've went over to Morristown and bought some more mix because we was about to run out of mix. They've got a good mix over there. It's $41 a ton, which ain't a bad price for it. We can't hardly, that's just a little more than what it would cost us to make it, but then I had to break 4 guys off to make it, and that pulls them away from patching, so we're just getting it over there and doing it. It seems to be a pretty good mix. But I bought 8 more loads of it Monday to make sure we got enough. Then we'll get the spray patchers out, and that'll help too.
I'm just letting the public know that
Yeah, we are out there.
you're getting to it. It's
Yeah.
just area by area.
It seems like you patch them, then come back next week and there's more out there.
Right.
It just, they're constantly reappearing for some reason in different spots. But that's all I have.
Thanks, Jay.
Thanks, sir.
Maintenance, Bill Gray.
Morning, gentlemen.
Everything's in good shape, right?
Well, not so much.
The first thing is the jail. I
I've got a problem with the cap on the roof around the jail. I'm gonna get a couple more bids, so before I go any further, I'll probably wait till I get the bids in. This is the concrete cap, the whole perimeter of the jail. From this winter we've had, it had some couple places they had a tuck point before, but now it's busted. And it's causing water to leak down in there. And if it gets down underneath our
I mean,
insulation.
the joints are
I'm sorry?
broken or the concrete?
They're concrete. It's a concrete, I sent you guys pictures, I
Right.
guess you got them.
That's this one.
Right.
It's a concrete cap all the way around the jail, all the way around, all the way around the perimeter of the jail. And it's shifting, that's what it's doing. Water's getting under it and it's shifting. So it's getting down in there. Now, if it gets down into our insulation on our new roof, then we're talking major expense. And we're talking a major expense anyway, but you're talking real major expense if it gets down into insulation, they have to tear that roof back off. So I'm gonna get a couple more bids, like I said, and then we'll discuss it at the next meeting.
Yeah,
Haven't had a chance to,
Need to get on and get it fixed. I don't know how,
yeah, we will. I just need to get a couple more.
that'll take a
bids.
little while to do, to repair, I would think.
Yeah, well, they'll take it off, completely off, put some kind of membrane under there and put some kind of probably vinyl or aluminum. They won't go back with concrete. I'd say they probably did that, and I'm just guessing because it was built for another story. And I'm guessing that's why they put a concrete slab around there.
The building was originally designed, as you know,
Yes,
to put a second story on. Yeah.
And then I'm guessing that's probably why they put that on there like that. But like I said, I'm just guessing, I don't know. Anyway, I'll get some more bids and in the next meeting I'll run it by you.
Okay, yeah, really good.
The next thing I had at the jail is we're running on a backup domestic water heater. Our main water heater has been down. Johnson Controls, $1,889 to repair. It's got a board out of it. And I tried local. I tried Cole Arns. He never did get back with me. Powell's Plumbing wouldn't touch it. They just don't know enough about it. It's one of the small boilers for the domestic hot water. So that's something, that's our main water heater. We're running on a backup now. The backup we're running on is that Lockenfire.
So again, we're down to Johnson Controls, the only one that can give us a,
Well, not the only ones. I guess I could go out of town, go to Indianapolis or somewhere and try to find somebody. If you want me to.
Johnson Controls is familiar with this?
Yeah, they're the ones that service it.
they are, I just hate to
I
get
know.
down to where
I know.
I have a problem, John, where they,
Well, I talked to Steve at Powell's Plumbing. He said they're just not, they don't have the experience to work on these boilers.
And who else did you call and they never called you?
Coal arm.
Is the boiler itself sound, is just?
Yes, yeah, it's fairly new.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably,
but I still think just as
Cyber
general
security.
principles, we need to get 2 or 3 bids on,
Okay.
or quotes on stuff.
okay, I'll try to get some more quotes on that then, but
Absolutely.
we need to be real careful because like I said, we're running on a backup. If we go down with the backup, we're done with hot water over there. So let me call around and see if I can get somebody fast.
Well, I don't have a problem with us going ahead and agreeing to let you get your quotes and then you go ahead and get it fixed, whoever
Okay.
that low quote is.
Okay. We
That's
can do it that
qualified
way.
to do the job.
Trouble is getting them down here to look at it. A lot of times I call out of town and it takes them forever to get here.
How long's it been
Does
down?
Richmond have,
It's been down for 2 weeks.
Okay.
would Richmond have anybody?
I don't know. I'll check.
That was the 1889 quote.
Yes.
I mean, my suggestion is also, if you're gonna call around and try to get quotes on this, and it's taking more time than you think it, and we're teetering on the brink of disaster, I would say
You know,
fix
with
it. We
this
can't run out of hot-
Lochinvar, it
we
could
can't
happen
run
at
out
any
of hot-
time because I've not had any luck with it running for any length of time at all.
We can't run out of hot water at the jail.
If you call another vendor up and explain how urgent it is, and they'll have to come down, look at it, correct?
Yeah, they'll have to come down and look at it.
And what kind of time period are you talking about?
I'd have to find their schedule and see when they could get here. I don't know.
So are we looking 2 or 3 days or maybe a
Maybe
week or
2 or 3 days, possibly. Yeah. That'd be my guess. I don't know.
Let me call around and see what I can do.
Yeah, we understand, we need to get it fixed, we need to get it
Yeah.
fixed now, but we,
Yeah, so let me do that. The other thing I've got is, now this is another Johnson Controls, but this is the bearing. I talked to a couple of them about it. We've got a bearing gone out of the heat return unit up here in the courthouse. And the bid is $826. That's labor to replace it, that was with me helping. And this is something that needs to be done right away, because I've got the belt loose on the unit now to stop it from wearing into the shaft. If it wears into the shaft, then we're going to have to take the unit apart.
right.
So we don't want to do that.
The bearings for what?
Bearings in the motor, in the fan motor, in the heat return unit,
Oh,
And how much for putting a bearing in?
$826. But we have to take the whole front of the unit off, put the bearing in. And to get to it, you're in a space about the size of this
Yeah,
for one person.
yeah, that's another mistake
Yeah.
we made.
Yeah.
Well designed.
I'm sorry?
Well designed.
Oh, yeah. And it's up in the attic, so that really makes it nice. We can't take the thing, the outside pieces apart, so.
Mr. President, due to the urgency of this particular situation, I'd like to move that we approve that quote so it can hurry up and get done so
Yeah.
we don't have further damage. And I know you're reluctant to be using a one vendor thing, but I think we're kind of in a bind right here.
I'll second that motion.
It's been moved and seconded to go ahead and approve hiring Johnson Controls to repair the bearing. And I agree with that, we have to get it done, but we just have to get away from Johnson Controls had to automatically they can kind of set their own price if
I agree.
that's the case, we need to get away from that. If there's no more discussion, all in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.
Did you get a copy of that, so you can get it
Yes,
signed?
I do
Okay,
have, I'll
okay.
have him sign this one.
The only other thing I have, which is bad news, of course, I'm full of bad news today, I'm sorry.
Bill?
The elevator,
The elevator, they've completed the shaft work and everything that we contracted and had them do. Everything's fixed. Now we're running into the problem with, it's just age. We've got an old valve that's leaking off, and we've got a switch in the
well, my
operating
problem
unit.
is, couldn't they see that when they come down to look at?
It wasn't running. Until they got the shaft fixed and they could run it up and down, there was no way they would know.
So what are we into, buying a new elevator?
Well, we've almost got it there, so I'll have him come in to the next meeting,
But the other thing is-
because he can explain it a lot better than I can. And he explained it to me, and I understand what's going on, but he can answer your guys' questions a lot better. Won't let me set it up to where he can come in for the next meeting and discuss it with you and tell you exactly what needs to be done. And then we can ask him if this is gonna be the permanent fix. But it's a
I mean, the
whole,
bad deal is expense after expense
I know.
for an elevator that we really don't use.
I know.
But to be ADA compliant, we gotta have it.
I agree 100%. But again, you're just looking at something that you get one thing fixed and something else breaks.
Man, we got a ton of money in that already.
We got a ton of money in it.
We gotta get to the point where it is fixed.
Right. So let me get a hold of him and see if he can be at this next meeting, and I'll get him in here. We can go with him and see what, 'cause he's the expert on it, I don't know.
I mean, do you think he's at the place where he can say for X number of dollars, this elevator will be fixed, or?
He might be
Are
able
we
to,
still in the-
do that. I can't say for him, but he might be able to tell you that. That's why I want him in here.
Right, okay, that'll be fine.
And I think that's all the bad news I have. I hope that's enough, huh?
Yep.
Well, talk to us a little bit about our leak over here above the
Okay.
auditor's office, where we are on that.
What they did was they found a leak. It was on the other side. So that could have been possibly running over during that freeze and thaw, but they did get this one fixed. Well, I'm waiting on rain, but I'm sure it's fixed, because it was obvious when they got up there and saw it that that's exactly where it was leaking.
It was just running over.
Yeah, and I think it was running over, building up an ice pack over there and then running in. So
Okay.
hopefully we got that taken care of.
Hopefully.
Is there any way to set, this may be off the topic, or is there any way to set up a scheduled maintenance to where the roof of the courthouse can be inspected just for minor mishaps that you might? I mean, I know nobody wants to do anything until there's a leak, but once there's a
Right.
leak, we've got an office full of water and
Exactly.
equipment's being damaged, and then the price of everything goes up, so.
Yeah, we can look at setting, I'm sure there's,
Well, I'm sure.
I'm sure there's
someone
something.
is.
Yeah, I'm sure he
Waiting
can-
For a
he
fee would do an inspection.
yeah. A yearly maybe,
Yeah, I mean, just a kind of preventative maintenance to keep us
Right.
from having to deal with waterfalls in the auditor's office or
Right.
elsewhere.
but this has been a bad winter. It's just tore a lot of stuff up.
Right.
Bill, what's the status on the front steps?
On the front steps,
Fronts,
I haven't heard anything from
I
him.
talked to him, I called him last week, and he's got a big job in Ohio that he's finishing up, and then a bunch of little jobs, and we're the top of the list on the little jobs. So, next month or so, we should get it fixed.
Super. Okay. Other than that, that's all I have.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Have you got extra tiles to replace the tiles above Sharon's
Yes,
desk?
yes.
Because I do worry about that,
Yeah.
mold issues
Yeah,
and all.
and I'll take care of
I want
that.
to get that started.
Actually, can't do it tomorrow, maybe Friday. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks,
Thank
Bill.
you.
Next up's the surveyor, Warren.
I have a contract here for construction of Bridge 61 on 350 East, South Alpine Road.
Yeah.
And just need to have them signed, I think just by Barton. Just the space, we got marked.
Okay, we need to approve this contract though, right?
Well, that's basically what it is. You sign that and approve it.
Well, maybe the board has
Take a
to.
motion,
The
yeah.
board has to approve it, so we need,
You approved the low bidder at the last one, so.
right, we approved the little bridge, so we need a motion to accept this contract.
So moved.
And,
Here's the other copy. One copy's for us and one's to send to the contractor.
I take it. Is it,
It's a standard contract provided in the bid
yeah,
documents.
well, what we'll do, we'll make a motion subject to Chris approving this.
Okay.
Okay, do we have a second to that motion? Then move the second to accept the contract for this bridge, subject to our county attorney approving the contract. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. You want to
Okay.
hand that to Chris? and-
They
as soon as he
would
reads
like
it, I'll
to
sign
start Monday, close that road.
That's fine.
And,
So the road will be closed?
yeah, the road will be closed 3 months or so. That's 90 days is in there for,
Is there any way you can notify emergency services?
oh, we're planning on doing it already. Jay knows about it and high school and
Right.
so they've already been notified, I think, to these schools.
Dispatch too,
Mhm.
central dispatch also.
Yeah, 911. See what else on that. Oh, Jim Reese and I met with the contractors several weeks ago on site. Jim Reese was certified engineering man doing the inspection. And so we got all this together, how they're gonna coordinate and everything. And so put up the signs.
Okay.
And that's what they called for after they get the contract. And they just said to be Monday, next Monday.
Okay, that'd be fine.
Sounds good.
And then the other item is Bridge 25, the one we got on 300 North.
Right.
We've got 6 letters of interest from consultants for design. Diane accepted them there at City Hall since she started the project. So.
Okay.
And now we need to rank them, rating, and I'll be on that via score, and then you three would, I've talked to you about being on the committee to select them, one of the consultants based on the ranking, and of course we have to get state approval then, and then we negotiate the contract.
Right.
So I talked to Frank this morning, we set up a time Friday, I don't know when each of you could come to my office to look at what they've submitted.
I'm
And
pretty
we
much
got a
on
little
board.
ranking form.
Yeah, whatever, anytime, just give me a ring and we'll
Okay.
do that.
Okay. I'm good with that.
Okay.
Okay.
All right,
Thank you, sir.
IT Director, Ben?
Good morning.
morning.
Before you today, I have the job description for our help desk technician position that is being created. I'm looking for approval of the job description.
Did you create this?
I did.
Well, given my extensive knowledge of computers and everything like that, it looks pretty good to me.
Now, is this the one you were talking about where they'll have access to personal information, so they'd have to have a background check? And
Correct.
Okay.
This is the part-time people which we're going to put on to get caught up that Michelle Dutton, Community Corrections, and 9/11, and possibly probation is going to fund.
I'm good with it.
No problem whatsoever.
Well,
Need a motion?
we do need a motion to approve the job description.
So moved.
I'll second that
Been moved
motion.
and seconded to approve the job description presented to us for IT help desk technician. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.
Ben, just a suggestion, if you can make up some kind of name tag for them and take them around to the different offices, and you may have already done that, so that they know who they are and why they're in there fiddling with computers,
Right.
et cetera.
Yeah. We'll talk to probation, who has the ID maker. Down the road, I don't know if that wouldn't be a terrible idea for every office to have name badges for security
I've had
purposes.
that in the back of my mind for a while, but
Yeah, we'll definitely do it. We'll send out a broadcast email letting everybody know, and then we'll take them around and introduce. Which is the second thing you have before you, the resume of Matt Helfrich. Interviewed him last week, and he's my recommendation to fill that position as the part-timer. Mr. Helfrich has 10 years experience in enterprise IT systems, including Duke Energy, and he's now with Cintas in Mason, Ohio. He meets all of our preferred requirements of the job description.
And I was talking to Ben earlier, really, if the funding comes in that we think is going to come in, we'll have enough money to have 2 part-time people. You know, if it does, it would be a good idea to get 2 of them and get all this stuff caught, because we are way behind. We just had so much stuff come in. Once we get caught up, and Ben and one helper could do it, but
this was discussed at Community Corrections Advisory Board meeting I was at a couple weeks ago, and I don't think there are any hitches or anything like that, so for me, Ben, in all seriousness, I don't know that who does or doesn't meet the qualifications, so as long as the person passes the background and everything like that, as far as I'm concerned, I'm going to leave it up to you. I don't know how the other 2 gentlemen want to do, but it's an area of expertise that none of us are really conversant with.
Sure.
So as long as we're trusting you, as long as you're cool with it, and then
it makes you responsible.
Yes, sir.
They're your problem.
Not a problem.
Well, that resume's fine. I mean, I think you know what you need.
Unless you have any questions, that's all I had today.
All right.
you want to mention about the school that I talked about?
Yeah, I had talked to Zane a couple weeks ago, and then Frank this morning. Because we are in the process of hiring people right now, the training that I was going to go to is only in a week or 2. I'd like to put that off till the next time it's in Chicago. With these new people coming in, we're going to have some training, getting them accustomed to the way I do things. And I think it'd be prudent to hold off on me being gone for an entire week until...
So when is it? Will that be this year?
It'll be this year, yeah.
Okay.
I want to say September, but I have to double check their schedule, so.
Well, you should have them, new help broke in with them.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So this person that you're wanting to hire now, he can start in right
Yes.
As soon as we get him approved and the salary's approved, right?
Right, yeah, so we'll take the 144 to county council tonight for approval.
Good.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Animal shelter.
I don't
Nah.
see any.
Ann's not here.
Something about tires.
Yeah, what the but do you have that there? Yeah, I have it.
Somewhere.
What the animal shelter deal is, she needs new tires on 2 of her trucks up there, and, she has sent us quotes. I thought she was gonna be here. From Don's Auto Sales,
What's that price?
Which is,
$488 on one truck and $520 on the second one. The second quote is from Cooper, golf tires. These are golf. $628.32 on the one truck, $726 on the other. And I have another quote from
tire
golf
mark.
of $584.20 and $669.92.
584.20 and 6 what?
$669.92.
One was Cooper tires and what was the other one?
Both of these are Cooper.
Okay.
Cooper tires are just two different tires.
That's
Two-
all. Oh, okay, it's 2 different type of tires.
Right.
Okay.
And Tire Mart in Connersville, $706.75 and $556.95.
The cheapest quote is Don's Tires,
Okay.
Don's Auto Sales.
But I commend her on going and getting 3 quotes, as we ask everybody to do. Gives everybody in town a chance to put their bid in, plus gives us a chance to get the tires at the least amount. So I would entertain the motion that we approve the Don's Auto Sales, because they are the low quote on this.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and second, we approve Don's Auto Sales, putting new tires on the 2 trucks at the animal shelter for the quotes given. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. EDG report is on the agenda, but he's not going to be here today, I think.
He's gonna be here at the next
He'll be here at our next meeting. County Attorney, Chris Pell.
I have nothing just until the new business, the easement for the highway garage.
Okay.
I can just wait till we get to that on the agenda.
Okay.
Okay. Council representatives, anybody here? Shirley?
Good morning.
Morning.
I think just concurrently with what you're doing, our meeting last week, several of the items that we discussed and approved will help you in accomplishing what you're wanting to. The main one is with Ben. We approved an additional $8,000 that had to do with the 911, assisting with the financing. And in addition, Jenna Turner, the probation department, also needing IT assistance. We had the $14,500 also approved, again, because they're looking for 8 hours of dedicated service from this gentleman. So I'm hoping that we as council have done what you've asked to help. We
Yeah, we
recognize the
should state again
importance.
that this is not property tax money, it's their,
That's right, it's their money and come from users' fees and other issues, again, not spending taxpayers' money.
Right.
And again, I want to echo what Frank said, I also attended the meeting with the community services as council representative.
community corrections.
Community corrections. and they are anxious also to help with the process. So I'm hoping with those 3 actions, again, will facilitate Ben finding and hiring and getting some of these, we get all of our computer issues brought up to speed, and I think, we've made huge strides in
Yeah,
such
we
a...
just had such a big load that Ben just has to keep up. This will catch him up and then we should be all right.
Right.
Appreciate the council doing that, Shirley.
Well, I think everyone recognizes how important it is that we stay above the curve with the technology. And that brings another thing that we discussed and continued with the process, working towards the Odyssey system. That savings every year, whether it's going to be, I think, a minimum of $23,000 just for the one contract, all the way up to like $30,000 because of what's going on there. And I think there was mention made of the new computers for the Sheriff's Department and the Police Department that will go towards helping that JTAX system. Again, everything we can do that makes our reporting system for the courts more efficient, more effective, I think has to save money in the long run, in addition to the just flat out thousands of dollars every year saving. So we're moving forward with that too. And we also approved the transfer for the cemetery, from the Stone Fund to help pay for mileage for the volunteers. I want to say that as a member of the council, we appreciate the cemetery board and the volunteer work that they have done, and you can really see it around in all the different cemeteries, the work that they've done. And I know volunteers, do it instead of getting pay, but again, they cover a lot of miles, so I appreciate the fact that you've got it all set up, and we were glad to help. And also the supplies, the $2,500 appropriation for supplies, that was approved too by council. So hopefully, I think we're doing what we can to help. And then with the meeting tonight with the 144, again, to move forward and to keep us effective in our IT department. I think that's pretty much most of what was going on. One other issue. I think Sheriff Billy Wason brought the annual report for the Sheriff's Department. I think he reported to you too the statistics as far as what they've done in the last year. Billy has given each of the council members a salary proposal, something to help more equate the wages for the sheriffs and deputies to the city council or the city police department. And I know there's been a lot of discussion over the years, but about how we might most effectively combine some services, much like the IT and the other things that we're sharing. But he's asked us to convert some of the savings that they've been able to make in the Sheriff's Department into additional wages to bring them more in line with what the going wage is, so that they don't have to continue, much like Michelle, much like the 911, where it's just a training ground. All we do is train, and the minute another job comes along with more money,
Right.
we leave. So, it's important that we have county employees that are receiving a living wage and it's comparable for what other people in the county are making. So I think we recognize that money is tight and don't know what we can do, but we certainly have to make the most efficient use of what we have. And that's something that we're looking at in the wage proposal. So
Good.
I think that's it.
Okay, thanks, Charlie.
Thank you.
Next item is the mail. Debbie?
Well, and I think, wasn't quite sure what this means, but we had received a letter from Unison, they're out of Frederick, Maryland, about the cell tower. And it just talks about they're evidently a management firm and leading independent wireless real estate company. They specialize in working directly with the landowners, not the wireless carriers or the tower companies. And they would like the opportunity to give you an unbiased and objective evaluation of your cell site. So there's a phone number to call for a free site assessment. So
I'm like you, I don't make much out of this. I would say if they want to come to one of our meetings and say what it is they do and what they can do for us, that would be fine.
Yeah, I may call to try to get more information.
Right. Is that all the mail we have?
That's all I have.
Okay. Old business, Umball Arbitration Rebate Services Agreement.
Arbitrage.
That's your department too.
Well, we had received, I had received a memo from UMBAW. It's been probably almost a month ago, and then in looking at this proposal, it didn't have, we did not have a do not exceed. And this Christine Cromer at UMBAW, what this is, it's something that they have to do a 5-year computation on our bonds relative to arbitrage rebate computation. And, which I would have no idea anything about that at all. And, but it's something I think we need to do to comply with
It's
the
something
terms of
that's
the bond.
required.
Yeah. And she said that based on time and expense, would not exceed $5,000 per 5-year computation, but she actually estimates that the fees relative to our 2012 refunding bonds would be in the range of $3,500 to $4,000, assuming this was a standard refunding and only one 5-year computation is necessary. So she had sent a letter of, I think they call it a letter of engagement along with it, and we sent it back, or I sent it back, asked her to please put a do not exceed into the fees, and she has added that right here. These shall not exceed $5,000. So they'll actually bill us based on what they do per hour, and they have standard hourly rates by job classification for whoever works on it. So
We need to
that is
approve
there
that
for you to
contract.
approve that. Yeah.
All right, what's your wishes on the agreement?
Is that subject to you seeing it, or have you already seen it, or what?
I saw the original one, right?
Here's what was changed on Exhibit B.
It was just
It was just that
It was
one.
just the do not.
You wanna send that down
Do
to
not to exceed
$5,000.
$5,000.
That would probably be paid from what we have appropriated in edit monies. I don't know whether it would be done yet this year or when it will be done.
So basically, they review our bond issues and tell us, make recommendations and check for compliance and things of that nature. Is
Yeah,
that
they
correct?
do,
Right.
they do ongoing, yeah.
I would entertain a motion that we approve the agreement subject to Chris's
So moved.
final approval.
Second.
Been moved to second, we approve the agreement with Umball, all subject to Chris's confirmation of the contract being okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. New business, Health Department billing. Paula Malvern.
All right. I have a couple of things. First, I have, it's an updated fee schedule for our immunizations. We're getting ready to start billing insurances, finally, we're hoping. So we have a new fee schedule. And I
You
also
mean
have.
we haven't been, we don't?
No, we bill Medicare, Part B, and Part D is all we've been able to bill so far. We've gotten credentialed with a couple of insurances, Anthem is one of them. And as soon as we get, which is the second thing I have is the agreement with the billing software company. As soon as we get that approved and sent in and get trained on the software, then we can start billing Anthem and Sagamore. They'll also help us credential and contract with other insurance companies that are in the area, like United Healthcare, Humana, can't think of, Aetna. So they'll help get the contracts and stuff set up for those. What's really good, and this is my good news, is the state has a grant, and they've agreed to pay for the implementation fee and the integration fee with CHIRP, which is the statewide immunization registry. So it will be integrated with that. And that's about $4,000 is what the state is going to cover for this software. So we'll be getting that. That would be something that we would have to pay without that grant. But now that they're paying it,
And that is you doing the actual billing, all using their software, is that?
we submit it to them, and then they go through it, make sure everything's in order, and then they send it to the insurance companies. And
What I was getting at is this, the city has, with the EMS, has a service that does their billing for them, right?
yeah, that's kind of what this is. We could go one of two ways. We could do the submitting and checking. If it's denied, then we can do the resubmitting and investigating why it was denied for a fee, or they can do it for us.
People you're talking about do it all for you?
Yes.
Okay. So it's basically the same thing the city has?
Yeah. Yep. And as soon as we can get that contract to them, we can get trained and get started.
Is there a yearly fee of any kind?
It's a monthly fee. It's on there.
125?
Yes.
8%?
8% or $125.
Monthly. Then it says 125 hourly.
That is for the contracting,
Okay.
which the state is, we're in a program where a grant is covering that, so there won't be any charge for them to finish contracting with.
So the
any
benefits will
insurances.
outweigh the cost as far as you
Absolutely.
bringing in, being able to bill insurance company.
Right, and once this is implemented and we're up and running, we will just be responsible for that $125.
So there's a one-time $4,000 implementation charge, which is covered by grant.
Right,
And then there's a $125 monthly fee
right.
for the length of the contract, which is how long?
We can terminate it whenever we want. We just, I think there's 60 days, have to give a 60-day written notice.
How long is the contract, though? A year, 2
It's-
years,
I think it's 3.
3? Okay.
Yeah, 3
Wow.
years, it's on the very bottom
Well, I would say, I mean, there's a lot of
there.
print here, so I would say that the attorney would look it over, but other than that, it sounds like you've got to do it.
I'll move to approve, subject to Mr. Appel's approval.
I'll second.
The $125 fee, I mean, that's not much personnel cost if we had to go ahead and do that.
Right.
And we can, if we decide that once we get going and we feel we can handle that, submitting it and everything all on our own, I think there
Well,
was
I'm
a.
just remember the city's experience and what they run into over there, and they had one or two personnel doing the building when they were doing their own, which gets in pretty good.
Yeah.
We do have a motion on the floor
Second.
approving the agreement subject to Mr. Bill's looking over the contract. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.
Thank you.
Okay.
Guys, have a good day.
You too.
Common construction wage, this has to do with public work, with our building a new garage. We have to have a wage construction meeting to set what that common wage is. Well, we need 3, is that correct, Debbie?
We need-
This-
Oh, 3 appointments.
To this wage committee.
Yeah, we had looked at that. Have you got that?
Yeah, it's,
I think I'd made a couple notes on it.
the state sets what days, hearing schedules. We are in the fourth, if we're gonna have one, we are in the fourth Monday of the month, so that would have to be the 26th of May if we, to do that. We have to notify the state to get on that, and we will need a committee.
And this is for what again?
Highway garage.
For the
Highway
wages
garage.
for the highway garage. We need 3 people on that. That's what each commissioner could appoint one. I have asked Mr. Coldiron if he would sit on that, and he would. So if each one of you would come up with somebody soon to appoint to that committee,
Okay.
we would go ahead and have that meeting 26th. Community sharing food pantry. We are not, we're going to put that on the next meeting's agenda and notify the people that's running the food pantry to be here, and we're going to discuss their situation then. Easement. At the highway garage, when we build a new garage, it would be a whole lot cheaper to hook onto the sewer than to put a new septic system in there. And if we didn't build the garage even, it would be cheaper to hook on the city sewer down there than to redo the septic system. I have talked, Dale Strong and I have talked to Willie Wells, who has the trailer court right next door. And he has agreed to grant us, orally, he has agreed to grant us an easement for a fee of $1,100 to hook on to his sewer in the trailer park, which goes down to the lift station on State Road 1. The people who are designing the garage have stated it would be cheaper to hook on there than to run the line down our drive and back up to the lift station. $1,100 would be cheaper than doing that. And the only other way to go straight down to the lift station would again be to go through Willie Wells and get an easement. So the cheapest way is to purchase an easement off of Mr. Wells. We can just, and that sewer in the manhole is just directly over the fence from where the new garage is proposed to be. So I'm asking that the board and the commissioners approve purchasing this easement from.
I think it makes sense to hook onto the existing sewer rather than the septic, especially since it's going to be cheaper. So I'll make the motion to approve.
So there is no fee attached, there is a fee, but there's not like a monthly.
No, I mean, it's
No, it's
perpetual, well, it's a temporary easement to hook on, and it's perpetual to maintain it and repair if it needs be. I mean, it runs with the property. So it's a one-time fee to purchase the easement off Mr. Wells because it's his land.
Okay. I'll second that motion.
And like I said, the sewer won't be very long, run from the building out to that, and it's going to go directly into a manhole. So if there is a plug up in the sewer, it's easy to get into. So you have prepared the easement and you're satisfied with it, right, Chris?
Yeah, Mr. Sudoff gave description and the proper legal description for the easement. So once it's approved by you guys, you just have to, he has to sign it and get it recorded for it to go into effect.
Right. Been moved and seconded that we approve purchasing the easement. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next item, Zane's gonna talk about discarded items in the basement.
We're still doing the basement cleanup and the courthouse cleanup and the annex cleanup. Every now and then we go and make a list, or I. And with the help of probation, they made this list as well. We catalog the items, but it has to be approved by the other two commissioners for surplus and destruction. So as soon as we approve this, we'll go ahead and start removing the item. Entertain a motion to approve that list.
We have a second to the motion.
I'll second.
Been moved and second. We approve the list of items to be discarded from the basement of the courthouse. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Get to moving. Cemetery board appointments, at the present time, we have one vacancy on the cemetery board. I have talked to Elizabeth Holmes, who has agreed to accept an appointment, and I would recommend the board approve her as the cemetery.
Mr. President, I move to appoint Elizabeth Holmes to the vacant position on the cemetery board.
I'll second that.
Been moved and seconded that Elizabeth Holmes be appointed to the cemetery board. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Senior Center Vehicle Grant. Diana?
The senior center has the opportunity to apply for more vehicles this year. There's 3 that need replaced for a total of $119,387. Their match is 20% of that, which is just under $24,000. They do have the funds in their account in a CD to pay for those. So, but we do need commissioners' approval since they sign off on the grant to go ahead and apply for the grant.
Now, is this a trade-in price?
I'm sorry?
Is this a trade-in price you give us, or?
The state gives, actually, they could sell the other vehicles at their own leisure.
I was going to say, they can sell what we got now and use this part of their 20%.
Correct. But
If they want
the state puts out for bid, they tell you the price of the vehicles you're gonna buy because they purchase statewide once
Okay.
they approve the grants. Like,
Okay.
there's a low floor minivan, is $34,263, and they need to replace 2 small transit vans, which is $42,562.
I am on that board, Mr. President, and as a result of being commissioner, and it's a need. They've got some vehicles that are they're worn out, and I think that they took time to actually figure what kind of vehicles they needed as far as what kind of lifts, what size, and et cetera. If there are no objections, I would move to accept the information presented by Ms. Wright, Mrs. Wright.
It's grant money.
Right.
So
Correct.
Second that motion.
Been moved and seconded, we approve the senior center vehicle grant. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Also, I'd like to, I'm sure you read it in the paper, the county was granted the housing rehab grant through IHCDA with Star Development being the grant administrator on that. The county was awarded, I just received the email while I was sitting there, $206,250 for
Cool.
their part. $206,250.
206250.
Correct. And I'll bring that grant application and all of the necessary resolutions to the next meeting.
Okay, that sounds good.
Well, I don't have any problem with you doing it.
I don't know what
Well, okay.
it is. David called.
Thanks, Diane.
Thank you, ma'am.
It's like David called me
Is Mr. Quell back there?
Yes.
Dave?
David Caldwell.
David, yes.
Yeah, we've got this Zine just give me this letter from the Soil and Water Conservation District about your cover crop initiative. Do you want to address that?
Well, I'm always happy to talk to you, but that's intended to be for the council tonight.
Oh,
Okay.
is it, I knew that you were on one agenda and I couldn't remember
It
which
was
one.
in, it was in my mailbox, and that's the reason I looked.
Watch.
Yeah. And I picked it up with my stuff, and you weren't on the agenda, so I didn't know if it was something you needed to talk to us about or what.
Well,
Not ready, you can come and talk to the council, right? That's fine.
this is the council.
That's
Okay,
quite all right.
great.
That's quite all right.
Great.
And the council didn't get the letter down, so.
Okay.
All right.
That's all the items on the agenda. Do we have any patrons' concerns?
Am I a patron?
You are?
You are?
May I approach?
Sure.
You may-
Special invitation?
You may approach the bench.
I didn't approach the bench. I only have 3 copies. This is a project I've been working on since I took office. This is to replace the microfilm reader scanner. And when I first began this process, we were still looking at just a regular old reader printer. Now the technology has changed so much and has become much more affordable to be able to do a digitized reader printer. Now, a lot of our records are on microfilm only. There are no hard copies in books. So we are trying to start a program where we can actually microfilm this. It will digitize it to a TIFF format. We can load it into our current system and then do back indexing and start getting these things into our system, and then there will be a microfilm backup again from that. I've contacted 4 companies. 3, I've attached the information from the 3 that responded. And after talking with other recorders, the one from Hiram Hash, they're all pretty run around between $8,000 and $9,000, which would of course be paid from perpetuation, since this does preserve our records. So there will be no taxpayer money involved in this at all. The machines are ready to be installed anytime if we call them. I do not have a contract for you to sign. If you want to look this over and wait, that's fine, but the machine the current reader printer was purchased in 1999. And so I think we're at that point where we have to baby it and jiggle it and shake it, and hopefully we can make it continue to go until we get this new system installed.
We just have a price from one, is that right?
No, there are 2. The one on top, the one Hiram Hash, the machine and software, $8,700, setup install is $250. The one that says Scan Pro 1100 on the back, that's their
8876.
the 8876, and that,
And the third one was no longer available.
correct, yes. And I'll work with Ben to purchase the actual computer, the keyboard and mouse and all of that, and the printer. He said that would run around $550. That'll come out of perpetuation also. I did mention that to Mr. Champion, who is the person who I've been talking with. He said most counties, that's what they do. It's cheaper for our IT department to purchase those items, and then he works with Ben on installation.
So what you're needing is simply equipment. You're not talking about a service or a contract of any kind like that.
No.
Okay.
There is a maintenance, I did talk with Mr. Champion, there is a maintenance contract will be included for the first year. And when I asked him the price for the second year, he said, I'm gonna be real honest with you, he said, you probably don't need it. These things, either they work or they don't, and for the most part, they work. So it's like $1,000 a year for the maintenance contract. He said, I would wait until next year, see how it's working, if you've got any problems, he said he really didn't think it would be necessary.
Have you run the 2 different companies past Ben to see if he had any comments on it?
Yes, I sent the specs to him by email before, and he said there was no problem
With either one?
with either one, right?
I think there's Hiram Hash equipment in the clerk's
Clerk's
office.
office, uh-huh.
And we had them until we switched to WOW
Yeah,
financial
they have
system.
a check signing equipment.
Yeah, ours is embedded in our financial system now, so we didn't need that.
Right. So I kind of popped this on you. I don't, if you want to go ahead and approve it, I'd be grateful. There's really no other information I can give you.
She does not have to have money appropriated to purchase from the Records Perpetuation Fund.
I don't see a problem with it.
I don't see a problem with it. I would kind of like for all this to come through them, but I don't see a problem with it. And we do need to get that stuff digitized.
Which one do you prefer, Ann?
The one from Hiram Hash, the ProScan UF series.
Mr. President, I'll move that we allow the recorder to purchase the necessary equipment from Hiram J. Hash and Sons as presented to us.
Second.
Been moved and second to approve purchasing the equipment from Hiram Hash. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.
Oh, lovely. Thank you so much. And we'll get that taken care of. Thank you.
Are there any other patients' concerns? If not, we need to approve the claims and the payroll.
Move to approve.
Second.
Been moved and seconded that the claims and payroll be approved. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Nothing further. I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Most happily, sir. I so
Second.
move.
Been moved and seconded, this meeting be adjourned. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried, meeting adjourned.
Pardon.